For me, it was having to recover from the surprise of the second line. Boy, that was really huge in terms of what I had in mind, because it was like, wow, what happened? It was amazing. It was amazing. In fact, the kids weren't even supposed to come down.
Right. I asked them before and reminded them in our rehearsals, don't go on the stage, because we had the amplifiers in the cart for the guitar players. And then sure enough, they just started walking down to the stage. And I thought, oh man,
here we go.
The chaos is gonna,
it was beautiful.
It will continue. And it did, but it was a lot of fun. So I ended up just picking up the speakers and just asking them many, many times to be careful as they were walking, so they wouldn't step on a cable.
Right.
And I remember seeing your face too when we got on stage. Yeah.
You're making this happen. Yeah, that was a moment I'll always remember. So all of my musicians had the schedule. They knew when they were supposed to perform. But I think everybody was befuddled after that. At that point is when I had to be as creative as possible, because I was calling for Richard. Richard, where are you, Richard? The part that I enjoyed the most was with my canes, I put the rhythm in motion. So it was a moment whereby befuddlement became a part of like being real creative, because it caused me to be as creative as I could possibly be. We both share being creative, being in the moment, and that was a moment. That was my favorite part.
It was a lot of fun preparing for that too, because we've been talking about so much New Orleans music in the students' classes, to take them back to that music and that style as part of the genesis of jazz music. Speaking about the rhythm with the canes, you really took it one step further and took it all the way back to Africa.
Yes.
In that moment.
Yeah.
And I asked the kids after the concert, when we were debriefing in class, I said, why does Marshall start every concert with drums? Jazz ensemble concerts, the Black History concert, why do they always start with the drum? And just emphasizing the importance of that rhythmic communication, how that is really that genesis that brought us even the second line, and that continued through all of the music we heard that night.
Yeah.
Really kind of amazing when you think of it. Yeah. But I love that with the canes. That was super cool.
Yeah.
But befuddled is a good word too.
Yeah.
So I remember after that ended, those kids had been playing, 20, 25 minutes by that point. And, Jason, who's a drummer, is playing trumpet, and his poor lips probably hurt so bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, guys, we can't go any longer. But they had so much fun with that too. Yeah. It was a fun experience for them. Yeah. I think they all liked the idea of collectively improvising.
Yeah.
And that, in terms of that structure and what that represents in that music for them, where it really touched on Isaac's point about jazz as democracy too.
Oh yeah.
So it sort of brought it, all of those performances brought it full circle, I think.
The second line, when you see the cultural background of all of these students, was like, that to me was like, that represents who we really are as an Idyllwild Arts Academy, because this is who we are. And I thought it was epic for us to display that, to show that, music has this ubiquitousness about it. It doesn't matter where you come from or what color you are. If you have the heart, something magic happens. So we were able to display that and to represent Idyllwild Arts Academy having so many different cultures, on that second line. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a good example of show, don't tell.
I agree.
There's that continual sense of building community and highlighting differences. And that's part of diversity too, is recognizing the things that do differ between us and acknowledging and respecting them and understanding, building that understanding. But a lot of great conversations, a lot of great, sometimes difficult but important conversations between people can happen as a result of having a shared musical experience. And being able to connect and enjoy and love music is something that I believe has an evolutionary purpose for us as people, to help us and to really help us survive as a species, if we boil it down to a biological component here, like a scientific bottom line. It's a survival mechanism, really. And that is what helps me believe that music plays a role in a better future, that people can enjoy music together and can work towards coming together in that way, and respecting, acknowledging, and understanding and celebrating differences, differing perspectives, different experiences, learning to value that in each other. I think that idea of jazz music as a democracy, we're giving voice to people. We're giving a mode of expression to people that shows that their contribution is heard and valued, and number two, helps them connect with others. That is an excellent way to celebrate and to highlight the diversity, is recognize that we're all approaching this from different experiences and different ages and different angles and sometimes different motivations. But we can come together and make this music together in a way that we all enjoy. And to me, that is the continuously amazing thing about this music that we make. I think the students first and foremost gain a sense of professionalism in how this concert is prepared. We might have a brief afternoon rehearsal that doubles as a sound check, and then the students are expected to hang or expected to perform alongside the professionals. And we had several students featured on this concert in that way, that were given the music that afternoon and then expected to perform it. So first and foremost, that experience, that professionalism, showing up to the gig, being prepared in the right frame of mind to approach a situation, a musical situation, successfully. I think in the broader sense of deepening their education, there's so much to unpack and so much history present at this concert that, as teaching the Jazz History and Fundamentals course here this semester, I'm thankful for this concert because it could literally give you a year's worth of classroom material to discuss. You know, that the students are witnessing the result and the making of history in that sense. So it really runs a great breadth and depth of musical education, in the sense that in the immediate, it is that professionalism of I need to execute this performance successfully. And secondly, it gives you a lot to chew on. It gives you a lot to experience and to think about. And there were students coming up to you after the concert, Marshall, in tears.
Oh yeah, they were moved.
Just very moved students who were expressing that gratitude for Marshall and for that experience of that concert and everything that comes along with witnessing that history literally on stage. You know, one thing to highlight something, it's another thing to literally just put it front and center on stage. So to get all of that, you know, the cross-section of that, I think it speaks to the enriching experience of this concert for the students.
I hope they give recognition to the different styles of music that was played, but it was orchestrated in a way where my formula was from math, you know, from inertia to impetus to momentum. Because you know, the number 3 is so powerful in theory and music. And the inertia was like, okay, this is something that's still something that's going to happen. And it started with the students. And then it moved into the impetus, which was students with the professionals. And we played with the students and the professionals. And then in the second half, it was all professionals, and it just took off to, you know, another level. The idea was to display these different styles of music all the way to the end. And it was programmed for my very last note. And my statement was that I do care, because the name of the song that I played was I Should Care. And the last word of the lyric is, and I do. So that was my program from the first note to the last note.
Well, I think from this year's Black History concert, there's a couple things that I would like the audience to take away, the students to take away, and that I myself take away from this concert. Something I wanted to share with you, so forgive me if I get a little emotional saying this, because it's been on my mind.
Okay.
When I think about Dr. Hawkins, I think of walking in last month on an interview he was helping a student with. And the student wanted to ask Dr. Hawkins a couple questions. And one of the questions was, how did you know when you made it? And Marshall held up the plaque on his desk that says, Dr. Marshall Hawkins. And that was a beautiful answer. And it struck me as very important when we think about this concert, because when we think about Black history and we think about what this concert represents, this is a person that was born into a world of Plessy v. Ferguson. This was a person that in his teenage years was alive during Brown v. Board of Education. And so this is a person who now before us is a doctor and is a beloved mentor. And I think that significance, need I say more, really speaks for itself in terms of encapsulating a history, but showing a lived history and a resilience, and really setting an example for everybody in terms of what it means to be a lifelong learner and a lifelong student and a musician. So I think ultimately that is the takeaway for me. But that's real. I mean, I've been thinking about that
Yeah.
stuff. I'm like, that's crazy. You know what I mean?
I do.
Like, I wasn't around 100 years ago,
No.
but I understand the world was a very different place,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a perfect place now.
No.
But it was an entirely different world that you were born into and that you grew up in.
Yeah.
Idyllwild Arts to me represents relationship and connection. When I moved here, when I came to Idyllwild Arts, I had spent about 5 days in my life previously in the state of California. And I'm coming here from the East Coast, the Midwest, to California. And since I've come here, between my work with the students and the other faculty here, my life has really just blossomed in terms of my nurturing relationships, both personally and artistically, as well as my connections to great people and great musicians. And so I think this place, outside any idea of it as a summer program or as a high school, is what you could call an epicenter of creativity and of connection through art. And the mission statement, changing lives through the transformative power of art, I think that's true.
Yeah.
I think ultimately here it is. It's true. I see it for the 2 weeks we have the students in the summer. I see it through the academic year in academy, but I also see it in the faculty and in the collaboration among the teaching artists that we have here at Idyllwild Arts. And so that, to me, is what makes it ring true, is that it's not just for the students, because there's a sense of when we're here, we're all students and we're all learning from each other and collaborating with each other.